All right, Wastelanders, Adventurers, Vault Dwellers, welcome back to the Fall Lorecast. This is your host, Tom, or Robots, and I'm here, as usual, with the wonderful, charming, intelligent, and beautiful Neos Pandora / Lainey. Welcome back, Lainey. How's it going?
Hi, thank you. It's going good.
We're zipping through this a little faster this time because this is take 2, because I accidentally had everybody except for myself muted to the stream. So we're kicking this off again. Luckily, we only got so far into the episode, but why don't we just jump right back in? This is the patron chat episode for August 2021. The topic this month is, if we were to set up a New Vegas movie, who would we cast in the roles of the characters in New Vegas? And with us this month, we have our wonderful cast of patrons who are able to join us this month. And that includes, we're just going to go down the list. Katamari Junkie, welcome back.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Glad to be here again. Enjoyed last month.
Well, good. I'm glad. We've already warmed everyone up, so we're doing another welcome for everybody. Then we have Southern Rage. Welcome back.
How do y'all? How y'all?
Yeah, their voice is working even better now. That's awesome. And Nighthawk Smith.
Howdy. I'm back.
Howdy. And Stagger and Stumble.
Hello again.
All right, friends. Well, this is going to be like a streamlined version, but why don't we kick this off again with the discussion about the first character that we're going to be talking about here, and kind of a central character of a lot of what's going on in New Vegas, Robert House, Mr. House. And the character of Mr. House is important, but he's also kind of an interesting character to cast because he's stuck in his like sarcophagus life thing, pumping him full of whatever juices those are to keep him alive for centuries. And so we don't have a whole lot of him walking around or anything, but we do have his face on a screen and we have a lot of his personality coming through. So if you were to cast Mr. House, what actor would you have play him? Who wants to go first?
So honestly, I think that I would typecast him as Elon Musk, and I think he would fit that role real perfectly. Yeah.
So we're going outside the realm of actors. We're going to our real life representative here of Elon Musk. And when you first brought this up in the muted section of the show, I responded with, well, did you get a chance to see him during his Saturday Night Live guesting and see how well he acted on there? And you said no. And I said, yeah, it was super awkward. Right. But maybe that would work to his benefit in some way. Potentially.
There's a video of him showing a reporter how great Fallout New Vegas was, like in 2012, like just after it came out. And he's like making her watch the whole first section of the game. And he's trying to explain it to her and she doesn't want to listen. And she's like, hey, can we just go ride out in one of your cars? She's like, yeah. And then it just cuts to him riding in the speedster that he ended up shooting into space.
Nice. All right. So other than Elon Musk's actual actors, are there any actual actors you guys think would be good for this role?
Angry Steve Carell. A real straight-laced, angry Steve Carell.
Ooh, angry Steve Carell. Like real intense Steve Carell. Not goofy, not funny, not even sarcastically angry.
Yeah, because like in the game, House is like a very, very to the point, straight guy. He'll try to lead you into stuff, but it's he's been waiting for over 200 years to get this chip, and he wants it now, and he's not playing any games.
That's true. You guys think Steve Carell could pull that off? I mean, Steve Carell is a phenomenal actor, even though he cut his teeth in comedy, but more and more, the more I see him in other roles, the more I realize that he is genuinely a great actor.
Some of his movies have caught me off guard, thinking they were comedies, and they were, in fact, not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seeking a Friend for the End of the World being my example.
I haven't seen that one.
Great movie.
Yeah. Stagger,
I was in tears by the end of it.
Yeah, interesting. Stagger, you had another movie that he was in that you mentioned previously. You got to look it up again.
Spacebar is not working for unmute for some reason. Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher. Okay, yeah, that's one I'll have to look up too, because it looks like he has kind of an intense role in that as well.
Oh, it was super serious, kind of dark.
Yeah. Okay, so Steve Carell as House. This has gone in a direction I did not expect it to go. In chat, we have RGN Rick Games Now, who writes Dr. House as acted by I'm going to mess up the name, Benedict Cumberbatch. Bedabum Cumberdum. Because, of course, any kind of slightly off-kilter character can be played very well by good old Benedict Cumberbatch. I think that could work. What do you guys think about that? Do you think he gets a little bit overcasted? Overly... He gets, I don't know. He gets too many parts, kind of like The Rock. Like he shows up in too many films.
maybe 8 years ago. I think maybe now not so much. I mean, he's Doctor Strange, but what else have you seen him in recently?
That's true. He hasn't done as much recently. That's true.
Well, his next role is going to be Mr. House, obviously.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Of course. And as I mentioned in our muted section, that I think, pulling off of how he did on the Numbers game where he played Alan Turing, I feel like that would absolutely, his role would be perfect if, kind of pulled that same type of character concept.
Yeah, I think he's totally capable of it. I think he could totally do it for sure. All right, let's move on. What about somebody like Benny? Who would be a good actor for Benny? Benny's kind of got that gangster kind of thing going on. He's got the flashy jacket. He's the guy who shoots you in the head.
I would say Robert Downey Jr.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, just a little bit younger Robert Downey Jr., like in his 30s.
Yeah, a younger, like, yep, I could see that. And
personally, I think that Tim Rozon, based on his role in Winona Earp, would be great. He's just kind of like this no-nonsense, like Western gangster. He would not hesitate to shoot someone in the head to get what he wants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm not super familiar with him, and he's played in a number of. I have his IMDb up right here. He's played in a number of things. He's got that kind of like Robert Downey Jr. He's got that kind of charismatic face, the dark hair, fair complexion, dark hair. Looks kind of like he's got that face of like the charming kind of, but you can't trust him kind of guy. That sound about right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Renawana in chat says Adam Driver as Benny.
See, I feel like we're just going down the like Benedict Cumberbatch. Now we're on Adam Driver. We're like making our way down that train of just men that are like that.
Oh, is that?
Like, any of those could work, I suppose.
Is that a thing? Pedro
like,
Pascal.
He's like
that's
broody,
another one in chat.
Like tall, dark, handsome.
Tall, dark, handsome, broody guys.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're pretty men.
Pretty men.
Everyone loves them.
That's true.
You can't it's not a bad casting choice because people. How can you be mad about it? How
can you be mad about pretty men?
Pretty men.
Purely for the looks of Benny, I could see Josh Brolin.
For like a younger Josh Brolin?
Yeah, sort of like a younger Josh Brolin.
Like 20 years ago, Josh Brolin?
Yeah.
Not like Thanos Josh Brolin. Not like like Deadpool 2 Cable Josh Brolin. Like
more like
20 years ago, Josh Brolin. Okay. Yeah. Not quite as bulky, not quite as like menacing, more smirky kind of Josh Brolin.
I feel like
Josh Brolin from like Old Boy. Sort of that era.
Lainey, you were going to say something?
Yeah, well, I just feel like I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I have aphantasia, so I can't see pictures in my head. And so to think about casting characters, and if I want to see them visually, I have to look them up. So I looked at Benny, right? And I've been like thinking about it, and I keep thinking that, like, can you imagine Tom Cruise as Benny?
Oh my God, I want to punch him in the teeth.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think he'd be great.
Tom Cruise is one of those actors I just want to punch in the teeth all the time. Like, I kind of actively don't go see Tom Cruise movies anymore because I just want to punch Tom Cruise in the teeth. Like, I can't see him as anyone but Tom Cruise. Yes, he's like the king of Scientology.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. But I just just Tom Cruise in general, I just want to punch in the teeth. I'm sorry, Tom Cruise, but I do want to punch you in the teeth. This is, I guess, a sore
Tom
spot
Cruise, come on our
for
show.
me.
He's going to use his Scientology magic against you.
Brendan Fraser as Benny, like current day Brendan Fraser?
No, like Brendan Fraser from like the Mummy movies as Benny. Like that era of Brendan Fraser.
Like,
I feel like
hunky,
kind of like that explorer,
hunky pretty boy Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, all right. Encino Man Brendan Fraser.
Encino Man.
Like a young Brendan Fraser. Man, we're going somewhere here. All right.
Ray
Liotta. This took a turn.
Very good choice.
Like younger, like Goodfellas Ray Liotta.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Not leathery Ray Liotta.
Yeah, not old. No, but like young. Yeah. I could totally see that. Like he's got that like the younger gangster kind of thing going on. Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to somebody else that I think would be really interesting to cast. Kaiser. Because in the game, if you look at his face, he looks just kind of like this regular oldish guy. He's got a very short cut, white hair, kind of very cropped, kind of a very pleasant, handsome face. But he's also freaking Kaiser. Like, everybody's Googling.
Do Christopher Maloney. From SVU.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because he could definitely pull off those those threats, like when you tell Caesar that you're done working for him, and he tells you if you say no to me again, I'll have my Praetorians hack you to death with their machetes for my amusement. I'm like,
he's got
this, like, he could pull that off.
He's got the squared jaw. He's got like the piercing light blue eyes. And I think
he's Italian.
But like it's like I think it's the eyes that sell it to me. Like there's something about those eyes that look like they could just like shoot daggers through you.
They're dark. It's like a predator's eyes.
Yeah, like when the pupils get really small, like when he's angry, like piercing. Lainey, you were raising your hand?
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman can play anything. So
I think Gary Oldman could do it. He has the eyes. He's got a good face for it. He can do anything.
That's true. Gary Oldman could play anything. Absolutely.
So, thanks for the follow, buddy. When I saw his face, like I pulled up his face, the only person that came to mind was Neil McDonough, who played Damien Dark.
Neil McDonough.
And I swear he looks identical, and I feel like it'd have to be the choice.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Neil McDonough. I don't know a lot of... Oh, okay. Yeah. Neil McDonough. Okay. Yeah. He's been in a lot of stuff.
It looks just like him.
It's like almost exact. Almost like they modeled it.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things. What is he most famous for? I don't know what he's just played like side characters in so many things.
Yeah.
Including Paul Blart in Mall Cop 2.
Wow.
That's probably his biggest hit. Yeah, that's huge. He was in Captain America, the First Avenger. That's pretty fun. Desperate Housewives, the TV series. All right, any other thoughts?
He's living my career dreams.
Yeah.
I want to be a superhero desperate housewife. What was the first one? What?
He was in Band of Brothers. I really liked him. He was Buck in Band of Brothers. You guys remember the Band of Brothers series back in 2001?
Yes.
I was thinking about it the other day.
Yeah. That's where I recognize him originally from, and then he's been in lots of
Okay.
stuff.
Now I know who you guys are talking about.
Yeah. Cool. In chat, Shut Up Whatever says Dean Norris as Kaiser.
I got one. The guy who played Tony in The Sopranos was it James Gandolfini?
James Gandolfini. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. He doesn't quite look like him, but like passable enough. And like, he's got that like heavy antisocial energy.
The intensity.
Like, I will actually kill you right now energy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. The intensity of it. Yeah. And I just looked up Dean Norris too, and yeah, he could do it. He could pull it off as well. But yeah, I get where you're going, Stagger. That makes sense too. Okay, I think these are all good calls for Kaiser. All right.
He chose a lot of Italians for that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, he's like supposed to be like a Roman. You know, this is the Legion. You know, totally makes sense. During the second half of this show, and I don't remember if we mentioned it only the first time when everyone was muted or the second time, we're going to be talking about who we're going to cast as our characters as the Courier. So be thinking about this as we go. And I want you at home listening or in the live chat to be thinking as well. Who would you cast as your character? Think about your main playthrough. And I know a lot of us have played multiple times through New Vegas, but think about your main playthrough. And especially if you role played it and made choices based on role playing your character, who would you have cast for that character that you role played as? All right, now there are lots of different companions you can choose, lots of interesting companions, and we don't have time to do all of them. So I'm just going to pick some of the most interesting because I think that there's going to be some interesting choices that we would have to make here. Let's go with Lily, Nightkin, super mutant Lily Bowen. Now, obviously, with modern technology, you can CG anybody into a Nightkin body, right? So it's about the performance. It might be about the voice.
We have to pick a good grandma.
It's got to be a good grandma character. You can even affect the voice. It really doesn't have to be. It's the performance of the voice, maybe, but not necessarily the tone of the voice. So this one could be interesting to choose. It doesn't necessarily have to be female or male. It could be anybody who could fit the character. Everybody's Googling. Google.
I have one in mind. I can't think. Oh, her name is Frances Bavier, played Aunt B in the Andy Griffith Show.
Aunt B? Wow. Is she still around?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But you didn't say we had to cast an actor who was alive.
No, they don't have to be alive. When she was born in New York City on December 14th, 1902. She would be 100, almost 110? She would be turning 110 this year. 120. I'm sorry, 120 this year. What year is it? 120. Holy moly. That's nuts. Okay. It's been a long time since I've seen Leave It to Beaver, but or the Andy Griffith Show. What show? What are we even talking about here?
Andy Griffith Show.
Andy Griffith Show. I'm now just in the time frame of when this was. She was on a lot of stuff though. Look at her IMDb. She was in Alfred Hitchcock stuff, Dragnet, The Lone Ranger. Wow. Go her. That's awesome. All right. Anyone else? Lily Bowen.
Cloris Leachman.
Cloris Leachman. I know the name, but I can't picture her face.
I think the last movie, television show she was in was Raising Hope.
Okay. Yeah. She's one of those classic actresses.
Yeah, she played like a very, what was it? She was riding the line of sanity in that show. That crazy old grandma. It fit very perfectly with Lily.
Okay. She also appeared on Dancing with the Stars in 2005 at the age of 82. So good for her. Anybody else? Like, let's think people who are younger who could play a super mutant, because she's an old person, but Lily doesn't necessarily. I mean, she's a Nightkin. She's kind of ageless in a way. So it could be anybody. I mean, you are an actor, right? You can act like anything, especially when you don't have to look like something specific, because the CG is going to cover over for you. Any other thoughts on this?
I had a thought about another older person.
Yeah, oh, sure. Go for it.
Well, I was thinking about good old character actress Margot Martindale.
Margot Martindale. Who's that? Margot.
You're going to look at her and you're going to be like, oh, she could play Lily.
Margot
She's in everything. She's in everything. That's,
okay,
that's her
Margot
thing.
Martindale.
They make jokes about her in BoJack Horseman because she's in everything. But she's just a character actress. Nobody knows who she is.
That's awesome. Born July 18th, 1951. And she's in all sorts of stuff.
She's in all sorts of stuff.
Okay. How about this? Another older actress, Betty White.
Ooh.
What if Betty White was Lily Bowen?
That was my pick for Maude.
Maude? Okay. Yeah, Margot, I get this. I can totally see this. This would work. All right, so let's move on to somebody else. I'm going to pull another one out of the hat here. Let's do another woman. What about Cass? Or Rose. Her name's Rose, but everyone calls her Cass. What do you think about Cass?
I couldn't figure that one out.
So Rose of Sharon Cassidy. Whiskey Rose. Water merchant. Owner of Cassidy Caverns. She wears the hat. She's got the cool leather jacket on.
You know, I'm probably going to feel like I'm just quoting to one show at this point, but the actress that plays Winona Earp in Winona Earp is who I'd pick for Cass. It's like immediately what I thought of anytime I met with Cass in the game.
Okay, what is her name? Winona Earp. Let's see. Melanie Scrofano? Is that her?
Yeah,
who it is?
That's her. Yep. Melanie Scrofano.
Melanie Scrofano. Born December 20th, 1981. Actress and director known for Ready or Not, Saw 6. Winona Earp. She was in the new RoboCop also.
Oh, I didn't.
Letterkenny.
See that.
She was in Letterkenny, which is hilarious. Get her done. Or no. What is it? What is the line that he says? He doesn't say get her done. He says, it's been too long since I've seen Letterkenny. Somebody's yelling at the radio now. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at her face. I haven't seen the show, but her face matches pretty well. Anybody else? Thoughts on Cass?
Jane Seymour. She was in Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
Jane Seymour at the time of Dr. Quinn, like back in the 90s?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she matches pretty well.
I can see that.
Yeah. I see that as well. Stagger?
Margot Robbie. Okay. Yeah. The only movie I can remember like actually seeing her in and watching the whole thing through is Z for Zachariah, which is like a somewhat post-apocalyptic thing, but I think she'd be a good fit. Kind of has a little bit of that like, I don't know, sun-touched Western look. I guess she's Australian, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. The new one that she was in, what is it? It's the Suicide Squad.
As opposed to Suicide Squad.
As opposed to Suicide Squad, but the Suicide Squad, the new one's actually pretty good. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, infinitely better.
It's so good, and she actually does the accent now.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like, yeah, her portrayal is so much better now. But yeah, I can see that. That works as well. Lauren Cohen, Shut Up Whatever says, and Zoe Saldana, Envy Courier says. Lauren Cohen, she's the one from The Walking Dead, right? And Zoe Saldana, I don't know who that is. You guys have any thoughts on those? Zoe Saldana.
Who was the lady that played Xena?
Oh my gosh.
I would do her. She's tougher than nails.
Yeah, but like her back in, when was that? The 90s, 2000s, whenever that was?
Yeah. Yeah, when she was around her, late 20s.
Yeah, her in her 20s, kind of. Yeah, she looks a little different, but she's tough. Like, she could play the part, right?
Or Amanda Tapping from Stargate.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Just give her a shotgun instead of a P90.
Yeah, that could work. All right. So let's get a little wacky here. What about Eddie? You guys remember Eddie?
I have a joke one for that. It's a guy that does R2D2.
The guy who does R2D2? Wait. You put him in a little ball? And just like, how does that work?
Just has a microphone offset, and he just goes beep boop beep boop.
Beep, boop, beep, boop.
Wee.
iBot Duraframe Subject E is both the prototype and the last functional model in this test group.
That's the little clip from the wiki about Eddie. What do you think? Enclave iBot from the East Coast. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, if we're gonna go with characters that look like Eddie,
It's a little harder to do.
you could go with Wheatley from Portal.
Who's the voice
Put
actor?
some armor on Wheatley and stick with the same voice actor.
Who's the voice
Perfect.
actor that does Wheatley?
I can't remember his name. I saw him in another TV show the other day too.
Yeah, he's a famous.
Stephen Merchant.
Yeah. Okay, Stephen Merchant. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Eddie?
Did anybody like him as a companion? I loved him.
I mean, the idea of an iBot is great. Like.
But every time he killed somebody, he played triumphant music. I felt like
Yeah.
an action hero.
Yeah, that's great. Shut up in chat says Lin-Manuel Miranda. Envy Courier says BuddyBot.
I agree. BuddyBot should be.
That's an amazing idea, Tom. Put in your voice for next for Fallout 5.
I could just do a New Vegas mod that replaces all Eddie's dialogue.
Every voice. Replace every
voice with BuddyBot instead.
with you.
With
Do
just
them all.
me.
But you have to do the voices.
I would download that. I would totally download
Wait,
that
just me doing the voices?
It's 60,000 lines of dialogue.
60,000 lines of me saying like,
You've got a mean super mutant voice,
You can-
Tom.
You have a
do
million
anything
voices.
if you're
you can do.
confident.
I could just do all the
you're
voices.
dedicated enough.
So, so I'd be like, human, destroy human. And like just over, you know how long it would take to do like 60,000 lines of dialogue? Oh my God.
I guess we could start a Patreon or something. You're good at those.
I guess. Holy crap. All right, guys. Well, if you want to get behind it, I can start getting working. I don't know how to pack that stuff in or create the mod, so I need some help with that part of it. But I can record the voice lines. I would need a list.
Get the voices done first, then reach out
I would
to
need a
somebody to
list
set the
of.
mod.
I would just need like a script of every single voice line in the game.
What if you just do one line from each character, so you just randomly end up with your voice every once in
Somewhere.
a while, but you're
Just every
trying
now and
so hard to be the character?
But what if
You're
we just did
gonna have
BuddyBot?
to-
You can have BuddyBot.
You're gonna have
show
to
up.
re-record the desert line like in 5 different voices.
Yeah, I think BuddyBot should
You
just do
wish for a
everybody's lines.
nuclear winter.
All right, we need to get to the middle of the show, and then we got to talk about the Courier. But why don't we wrap this up with Rex? Like, this is like updated Rex, like fixed brain Rex.
Well, you said updated Rex, but I was walking to work the other day, and this pit bull ran out of someone's yard and like started barking at me. And like I was trying to just be cool and like walk past it, and then the lady who was like watching him in the yard started screaming, "Don't touch him, he'll bite you." And I was like, "Oh no." But yeah, I nominate that pit bull
That
for
pit-
Rex pre-brain surgery.
Okay, pre-brain surgery is that pit bull. Post-brain surgery, where he actually can talk.
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Oh my God. I
Remember
love
the
it.
South Park episode where they had Sparky and they had George Clooney do the guest voice for Sparky the dog?
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be so good. I like it. Yeah, it needs to be somebody who, like, you would never expect to voice a dog. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That'd be funny.
That would be amazing. I would love that. Or like somebody else with like a really iconic voice. Richard Pryor? What? Like somebody who, when they talk, you immediately know who they are.
What's his face?
Gilbert Gottfried.
Gottfried. There you go.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, right? That's the go-to. David Attenborough. Yeah. Like the kinds of people who you're just like, yes, absolutely know who that is right away.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. That's a dog. all right.
I'm gonna lose that.
The dog just goes, all right. Every time you kill somebody.
That's Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, that's Matthew McConaughey. They're the same person. They're the same person.
Owen Wilson he goes, wow. Or he does
And he also does the ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
Yeah.
Ka-chow.
They're the same person. They're the same.
Did anybody have anything for Craig Boone?
Okay, yeah. What about Boone? Boone Boone's a little tricky. He's kind of dry.
Jason Statham.
Okay.
Jason Statham? Very good.
Yeah.
I picked like a young Ed Harris.
Okay. I could see that. All right. Anyone else? Any other Boone? No? No others? Michael Fassbender in chat.
That'd be good. Shave his head.
Yeah, Boone's pretty dry. Somebody who says more with their face than their words, you know? Oh, Katamari Junkie just had an idea.
Yeah, but I can't think of his name. He's in Stargate SG-1. He's the one that's like Goa'uld.
It's been a long time since I've seen that show.
Yeah. I'm looking it up. Christopher Judge.
Christopher Judge.
Oh, yeah. It's from Stargate.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
the
Yeah,
He's the guy. He's the dude.
Okay. Yeah. He like in Stargate all the time. He was always making faces with his eyebrows.
Yeah, he was.
Like half the time he's like,
indeed.
indeed. And he's like, eyebrow face, indeed. Yeah. Totally. Wait, is he the voice of Kratos? He's the voice of Kratos.
Yes. He says,
Oh, man. How did I not put that together? Holy crap.
I had no idea.
I was listening. My wife watched the playthroughs, and I'm like, "Is that Teal'c from Stargate?"
That's totally
She's
him.
like, "What do you mean?" I go, "That's Christopher Judge."
That's
He's like,
totally him. Boy. Yeah, that's totally him.
He always yelled at his son in the Stargate movie show. He was like, "Boy, listen."
That's totally. Oh, he's been in so many games. This is amazing. All right, I'm gonna fall through a hole at all the things, and I'm gonna go back and look at all these games and be like, oh my god, that's Teal'c from Stargate. Holy moly! All right, well, hey, tell you what, why don't we take a break? We'll do our middle of the show stuff, and then we're gonna. You guys have been thinking, right? Who's gonna play your character? Who's gonna be the courier? This is very important. All right, we'll be right back.
Hello there, old chap. Good to see another of General Atomic's finest, still eager to serve.
All right, we're back, and it's the middle of the show, which means it is time to thank our patrons. So thank you guys, those of you who made it to this Patreon episode. Thanks for being here and chatting with me, because this is always super fun. And thanks to those of you who weren't able to make it, but were able to help support the show. All 44 of you right now. Thank you for being here. Lainey and I very, very much appreciate your support. You help us to do this as a full-time thing, or as part of our full-time things that we do. And we very, very much appreciate that. And if you don't already support the Patreon, patreon.com/Fallout Lorecast, and we've helped you get through your work days, your workouts, your work commutes, your working on the clotheslines. No, that's not a thing. You're working. What's another work thing you do, Lainey? You're working
girl.
Working on the working girls.
Working on the milling machine.
Yeah. Anything else that has to do with anything else you have to do with work.
What a way to make a living.
Yeah, then go check it out. Maybe there's a tier where there's some rewards that you like, and you want to just throw some money out there and help us out. That would be amazing. And if you can't do that, or you don't want to, and you still want to help us out, then leaving a rating or a review would be awesome. Telling your friends about the show would also be awesome. There's lots of free ways you can help us out. And if you want to just come hang out with us during the live shows, that would be awesome as well. Over here on twitch.tv/robotsradio, and just come hang out with us on the Discord. We'd love to just chat with you. That's mostly why we do it anyways, to have friends to talk with. So thanks for being here, everybody. And we're going to go back to the rest of the show so we can talk with our patrons more about who would be their casting choice for their couriers. So here we go.
If you have any questions about Nuka World, I'd be delighted to answer them.
I got stuck. I was like, work. I was like, something's going to come to my brain. But there's not that many things that come after work. Except
relaxation comes after work.
Relaxation. Going to the bar.
Drinking comes after work.
Drinking and dinner. Passing out on the couch.
And tomatoes.
Yes, that's what comes after. All right, so here we are. The courier, the main character, the protagonist of the New Vegas movie. Who would you choose and why? Who wants to go first?
I got a few, but I'll just go with one for now.
All right, Katamari Junkie, starting us off.
The first thing that comes to my mind, and it's the way I played the character. It's always like headcanon for me. It's Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Every time.
All right. So
every time
when you say Ryan Reynolds, of course, because of his most recent big popular roles, I get like Deadpool in my head. I get, this where he's like Guy. What is it? Save Guy. What's the new movie?
Free Guy.
Free Guy. The new movie's in like Goofball. Like heck, he was in the Pokemon movie, right? He's Pikachu. Is that the kind of character you played as, or are we getting a different kind of Ryan Reynolds?
I can't take anything seriously. I just kind of make fun of everybody as I play. I go for the sarcastic answers, but I still want to go through the story. It just seems like that is the kind of actor that Ryan Reynolds is in almost like every movie he's in.
Right. So we get
always headcanon.
Yeah. So I get a picture of him like waking up on Doc's couch, and he's like, freaking great. I get shot in the head. Now I'm waking up on some guy's couch and I don't even remember who I am anymore. What's my name? I don't know. Like I'm Ryan Reynolds. Great. Wonderful. Yeah.
You definitely have to break the fourth wall a couple of times.
Right. Okay. So Ryan Reynolds is now the star of Fallout New Vegas. I think you put Ryan Reynolds in any kind of movie, and as long as it's got kind of a certain kind of self-awareness and humor to it, and it works. And the thing about Fallout is it always has that kind of humor to it baked in. So if you're going to lean in that direction with like that, you're going to do the dark universe thing, but it's going to be like black comedy, self-aware, then it could totally work. I could totally see this being a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That works for me. You guys have any thoughts on this? Any responses to Ryan Reynolds as the courier?
It worked good.
That's a great choice.
Wild Wasteland, absolutely. You would have to incorporate some of the Wild Wasteland stuff, like the episode I did a few episodes ago when Lainey wasn't able to join me. You'd have to incorporate some of that stuff into there too. Like there has to be moments where like he stumbles onto like one of these situations that's just like absolutely ridiculous, and just has to deal with it.
Do you guys remember I was playing Fallout 2, I posted some of the screenshots I had, and I was like, what the hell is this game? Like, I've had a random encounter with a whale explode. There was a box of petunias, and I had to ask my buddy who played the game all the time, like, what is this game? And he's like, oh, it's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's a reference. Yeah, that's a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, because there's the whale.
From the movie.
Yep, that's from the books originally too, yeah. Yep, the whale is falling. It has to do with the improbability drive or something.
Yeah, it turns the 2 nuclear tipped missiles into a whale and then a box of petunias.
Yeah, and they fall down and then they explode when they hit the ground.
Yeah. It's like, what is going on?
Yes, it's so good. All right, so Ryan Reynolds, our first one. Okay, who wants to go next? Anybody?
Russell Crowe.
Ooh, Russell Crowe. Interesting. Of Gladiator fame, that's where he became most famous originally.
I liked him in Cinderella Man.
Okay, so why Russell Crowe? He's very intense. He's a very intense actor.
Yeah, like the intensity and like he does the like aggression well too, and kind of. I think by all accounts he's kind of like a mean guy to begin with.
Oh, he's a total douchebag. I worked with a guy who used to work as his accountant for a few years. And then quit because he was such a douchebag that he couldn't work for him anymore.
Yeah, my New Vegas headcanon character is pretty scummy. Like I kind of role play it as I transition from like evil to like neutral by the end of the game, and that's his like moral switch.
That's your character arc. Nice. Okay, so Russell Crowe is he kind of like a combat expert too? I mean, Russell Crowe tends to play these characters who, in
my headcanon, like my New Vegas character grew up like basically homeless, like as a street kid in New Reno, and ended up like being victimized in like all kinds of different ways, and that like trauma led him to be like pretty hardened towards the world and like fairly antisocial, and he kind of like learned a bunch of combat skills, like working with like caravans and doing guard work for like the New Reno families and stuff.
Okay,
so it kind of worked.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
Did you do unarmed builds or gun builds?
Guns. And I usually by the end of the game, like I have so many skill points that I'll put some like in unarmed too, like as like a backup thing.
That whole South Park joke of him fighting around the world with Tugger the tugboat.
You guys have any other thoughts on Russell Crowe? No other thoughts? All right. I think that's an interesting pick. Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Sure.
I was thinking Tom Hardy or John Bernthal.
Ooh. Both of those, again, intense actors, both of them.
I really started liking Tom Hardy after I saw some of the clips from that TV show Taboo, where he's like this, lawful evil character. Where he comes back from Africa after he's lived with his tribe for like several years, and he goes to reclaim his father's inheritance, and the East India Trading Company has like taken over everything. And there's like so many parallels between that and the New Vegas campaign, where you have this imperialist merchant company that's moving into these territories and just buying things up and taking things over. That's a good one. And then John Bernthal I like because when he does the Punisher stuff, the character does have personality other than just extreme anger. Like he does have joy. He is a happy person around certain people. He wants to protect what he loves. And I think that's what I've done in the games for the most part. I've never played the wacky characters.
Right. I like John Bernthal in The Punisher because he's both highly intense and dangerous, but he's also very vulnerable emotionally all the time.
What's that go on the chart? It's not, because you have lawful and then lawful good, lawful evil, and then what's the other spectrums? Chaotic and neutral. Is he chaotic good?
Yes.
Yes,
he is chaotic good. He will do anything he needs to do in order to bring to justice those he deems as in the wrong. and that includes like straight out murdering them.
Yeah,
because he doesn't believe the system will ever bring them to justice, and so he's the only thing that will, and they are beyond redemption. So he is in the right to just murder them on the spot. So yes, he's chaotic good.
Just from his own point of view, though.
From his own point of view, right? Absolutely, yeah. That doesn't mean that there is no objective viewpoint in the system, right? Maybe the system will bring them to justice. He doesn't know that for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's interesting about New Vegas is that there's plenty of options for you to bring people to justice through the legal system. I think especially with the cattle baron, when it comes to like what we talked about last time with the water guy, what was it? The guy from the Followers of the Apocalypse. You can bring him to justice. The two people that are stealing people from the Aerotech office park and then selling them to the fiends, you can bring them to justice. And then there's a lot of places where you can actually be lawful good in Fallout New Vegas rather than just shooting people on sight and taking out vigilante justice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I like both of those choices. Those are good actors. I like that.
Tom Hardy, it's like between the two is that they're, I don't know, you have lawful good, and then you have chaotic good, and you have the difference because Tom Hardy, he beats all the people in that show through legal means for the most part, but it is kind of interesting, the similarities that he does live with tribals, and then he comes back to what is called civilization. He goes back to London, and then he reclaims all this stuff that was stolen from his family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those are my thoughts.
I like it. Okay, cool. Southern Rage, you haven't had a chance yet.
Sam Elliott for my pick.
Sam Elliott. Okay.
I can see that.
He's the lawful good. If I like you and you do me well and me good, we'll be friends. But if you're on the wrong end of the gun.
Okay.
But he's also, he gives off he's a strong person, but he's not too strong to show gentle kindness.
I mean, he's the quintessential cowboy, right?
Typically, when you think of cowboy, his face is what comes up.
Right. He's got kind of the slim features, but he has like the big thick mustache. He's an older guy now. Are you thinking like an older Sam Elliott or a younger Sam Elliott?
Like I had it pulled up here. The name of the movie. Sort of like an '89 Roadhouse.
Okay, so we're going back, yeah.
And I think he, as the Courier, he would be he's not opposed to helping anybody, but take, for instance, the Nipton incident.
Mm-hmm.
That would strike him as very abhorrent, very wrong, morally incorrect, that you've subjected these people to basically the pinwheel of death.
Yeah. So kind of an anti-hero, somebody who ends up doing the right thing, but doesn't set out to do so necessarily.
No.
But ends up on the spot and has to do it anyway, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it fits the setting. You've got like, a cowboy looking hero, kind of anti-hero who, ends up wandering the desert and ends up in a situation they don't expect to be in, looking for the man who gunned them down. I mean, New Vegas is a Western, right? Like through and through. Totally makes sense for it.
Totally a revenge quest, but helping people along the way.
Yeah. I like it.
Southern Rage, do you imagine him as that he used to do Brahmin ranching and he got screwed over by what's the cattle baron that's at the Ultralux, and he's also trying to track him down, but he took jobs doing courier work and he gets shot in the head, and he's still trying to track down that cattle baron that stole his head of cattle from him.
I can definitely see that, because I think some of the characters he's played have been definitely vengeful, And I can see him going out of his way to track these people down and get his revenge, whether that be take back what was stole or less peaceful means of revenge.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions anybody else has? Well, Sam?
Go ahead.
No? Okay. I think we're good then.
What about Arcade Gannon? I don't think we talked about Arcade.
Yeah, we didn't go into Arcade.
It's okay if nobody has anything to share.
Let's finish up Laney. We didn't get Laney yet, and then I'll throw in mine, and then we'll kind of wrap up anybody else. Any other thoughts on any other characters we didn't throw out? Just kind of wrap it up. So, Laney, do you have a character that you wanted to
it came to me immediately. It's the only answer for my Courier is Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2.
Wow. Yeah, she's pretty badass.
It has to be. It's just the right choice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Doing pull-ups in the prison cell.
She's
getting ready to protect her son from the end of the world.
Doing what's right.
Yeah.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
He has very high weapon skill also.
Very high weapon skill. Ready to do anything at a moment's notice. Yeah.
He's got the robotics expert perk.
Yeah. Yeah. She's pretty tough. I remember watching that film in 9th grade because I'm an old man and thinking just like, holy crap, this lady, you don't want to mess with this lady. Like, she will take you down. Like, wow. All right. Yeah, I get that. Anybody else thoughts on that one?
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's pretty cool. She's definitely the end of the post-nuclear survivalist for sure. I mean, that's pretty much the statue of her character is like hoarding all the weapons and ammunition, getting ready for the end of the world, and it kind of fits a little bit with Fallout because there's the only thing that really was left other than people was robots that just have the insane drive to just kill human beings. It's like you were talking about the robo-brains. They just wander the wasteland talking about, I'm sorry I have to do this. This is how I was programmed.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry about this. Yeah, that kind of movie would definitely be a revenge movie where she's just killing everybody to get to the person who shot her and take them out. That would be like John Wick with her as the star instead in the Fallout setting. Like, that's what that movie would be. So, all right. Well, I've got one from mine. My main playthrough, I tried to go evil. I ended up being more of a psychopath than an evil person on mine because I typically play good characters. I'd watched my wife play through the game before I started my playthrough. And so, and I've mentioned this before, the first time I played New Vegas, my main playthrough, the first time I ran through it, I role-played as a character I named Bitch Fist in order to do the worst things I possibly could. I ended up being a super dumb character with high charisma who was very crafty, but yet dumb at the same time. So kind of insane. And so I think I'm going to go with like a really, really insane Edward Norton.
I like that. That's better than picking a crazy Ryan Gosling, like from Blade Runner.
Yeah, not a crazy Ryan Gosling. Not a really disturbed, like synth type character. Like this is like Edward Norton, really disturbed. Like he's done a few movies where he's been kind of messed up. Like Fight Club, where he's really trying to figure out like what is wrong with him, and he's throwing himself against like the walls, that kind of stuff. So I think that's what I would go with. And it would be him just like, I don't know, dealing with people in super unexpected, weird ways in order to get to this killer.
The type of guy that would hit Joe Cobb over the head with a whiskey bottle on the bar. Yeah. And nobody at the bar, including Joe Cobb, has any reason to understand why he did it.
In fact, the conversation was totally fine until all of a sudden he just picked up the whiskey bottle and hit him for what seems like no reason. He just wanted to do it, like that kind of insane. Just like, there's a whiskey bottle here. I think I just want to hit this guy and start a bar fight, because why not? Like that kind of insane. Because, sometimes people just play games like that, because that's just what happens.
Wait, have you guys not shot Joe Cobb in the back of the head while he was threatening Trudy?
Almost every time.
I've done that, and I always got in trouble. I'm like, why are you attacking me? This man threatened to hurt all of you.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
He literally said the words, "I will burn this town to the ground."
Right.
But
right.
I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be the hero in that situation.
I'm supposed to let the quest develop and the story unfold.
Right. So anyway, that's who I would pick. All right. Well, we got to wrap up the show, but you said you have somebody for Arcade Gannon?
I picked a young Scott Bakuda. If you give him a little bit of the guy from Enterprise and Quantum Leap.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a very brainy type, very smart, very flexible.
Scott Bakula.
Bakula. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so like back in Quantum Leap time.
Yes.
Back in like the 80s.
Just give him a little bit of blonde hair. I think he'll do it pretty good. Interesting.
I wouldn't have thought about him first, but okay, yeah. I almost would go with an older, like a slightly more grizzled version of him.
How old is Arcade Gannon supposed to be?
I'm not sure exactly. Let's look it up. Arcade Gannon.
I can never figure out the timeline. Obviously, Cass is pretty young.
Yeah. I don't know if they born in 2246. He's in his 2281, so 35. Am I doing my math right?
Don't ask me. I'm just a gunsmith.
So yeah, I think he's 35. So not young, old enough to have some gray in his hair. Some wrinkles on his forehead. Things like that. Anybody else?
I think he could do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, now that I look at the face again, I can see the similarities in the face. I can see that. I gotcha. Anybody else have any other last minute want to throw out there? Anybody want to throw up last minute?
You were talking about The Rock before, I think. I think he should play Marcus.
Marcus?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's a good one.
Are we casting The Rock again? Oh, no.
Or honestly, I was going to say at the beginning of the podcast, I think a Rock should play just a generic super mutant because that's about all he's good for.
Oh, gosh.
But my girlfriend accused me of being a hater.
Oh, no. I mean, The Rock's fine. He just gets cast in so many things all the time that it's just like, it's hard to watch a movie and be like, oh, that's that character, rather than, oh, that's The Rock. Like, that drives me nuts.
It's kind of like Nicolas Cage. He just never turns down a role.
Right. It's like, oh, that's Nicolas Cage, not, oh, that's a character. Like, that's the problem with actors who get overcast. You no longer see them as the character they're playing. You just see them as themselves. That drives me nuts. Anyway. I'll get off my high horse about actors.
Veronica Santillane. How do you say your last name? The gal from the Brotherhood of Steel.
Santangelo.
Santangelo. I can't see anybody else than the person that did her voice, and I can't remember her name either. She was on the Guild. She did the show The Guild. She's the red-haired girl.
Oh, is that who did her voice?
Yes.
Felicia Day.
Felicia Day.
Yeah, Felicia Day. I kept wanting to call her something else.
Really? Felicia Day did her voice? I didn't even realize that. Here's a quote from her. We'll do her little voice line. Let's see.
Well, thanks for taking a chance on a naive young girl from California with stars in her eyes and a pneumatic gauntlet on her hand.
Yeah, that sounds like her. Wow. Yeah, Felicia Day totally could be her. That's cool. I learned a thing. I didn't know that was Felicia Day. Felicia Day's great. There you go. That's a good one too. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. This has been super fun. I'd love to hear anybody else's thoughts on which characters they would cast in this New Vegas movie. Maybe by having this conversation, we convinced Bethesda to do a New Vegas movie. Wouldn't that be amazing? I know they're still supposedly working on this Fallout TV show, whatever that's going to be. Who knows where that'll be set or how that's going to, shake out.
They did pick the writers for Westworld, so that is interesting. They might pick a Western setting.
Or something having to do with robotic humans or synths. So
I don't know. Do you think they're going to go to Boston, or do you think they're going to go to Southern California?
I don't know. If I had to put my money on it, they're either going to go to the origins of the situation and take everything from the beginning and unfold the situation piece by piece so that they can kind of step us in down the steps rather than just dunk us into the deep zone, or they're going to go more into a Boston setting because more people are familiar with 4 than any of the other games, because 4 totally outsold 3 in New Vegas. Like the stats on the number of people who have played and completed parts of Fallout 4 are just so much more than what people have played and completed of 3 in New Vegas, regardless of what the loud minority say on the internet about which Fallout's the best.
Game. Yeah, more people know Fallout 4 than know Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas or even Fallout 1 or Fallout 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So but then again, you have more of a chance of, breaking lore or doing something different. So I think if they're going to do anything, it's going to be its own story, just based in and around things about the world that they've already created. So where that's going to take place, I don't know. I don't know for sure. It's a good question. Maybe we can talk more about that in the future. Hopefully we get a little bit more about it. It's been a while. It's been about a year since we've had anything. So hopefully sometime soon. But hey, tell you what, why don't we go back through and you guys can say your goodbyes. You can share anything that you've got going on that you want to tell us about. And if you want to share ways that people can get a hold of you, or you can just say, hey, just, shoot me a note on the Discord. That's fine too. Let's go back through the list. Katamari Junkie, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. You could find me on the Discord as Katamari Junkie. I don't have anything else to add.
All right. Well, that's good enough. Awesome. And then Nighthawk Smith.
Yep. I'm always trying to post memes to make people laugh. I do need to talk to some people about Fallout 76 stuff, because I'm starting out a friend that's a Fallout 2 junkie, and I'm trying to get them to understand everything easy. And it's not easy for me, because I still don't understand everything with 76, because they keep changing stuff. So hit me up on the Discord if you guys got info on that. Thank you very much. And do.
Yeah, there's a lot of people still playing 76, and yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people who can be helping you out with that stuff for sure. And then Southern Rage. Southern, you still here? You good? Do you have audio? I don't know if Southern has audio problems. Oh, wait.
Yes, I have myself muted. I apologize.
That's no problem.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. But if anybody wants to get a hold of me, I am on the Discord. I try to be as active as I can, but work being as it is, it's a little hard, but I'll try.
Cool. Well, you got to do what you got to do. We'll still be here whenever you get a chance. And then Stagger and Stumble, thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having me. I like these things. It's like having friends.
It's kind of like having friends, except, at a distance and with a slight delay and recorded.
Yeah. If anyone wants to hit me up, I'm on the Discord. That's about the only place I can really be reached.
Well, there you go. Well, yep, we're all on the Discord. We're all posting stuff pretty regularly. And even if there's a delay and you don't respond right away, don't worry, because all of us have our own schedules and time zones and all that. And if you check back later, I'm sure you're going to see more messages. And there's no rush. You post a thing, you come back later, other people post stuff, you post some more. That's the beauty of the internet, is that you don't have to respond right away. And then we've got Lainey. Lainey, you got anything cool going on? Anything you want to update us about?
It's me. I'm the cool thing that I've got going on.
Yes.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow. Confidence.
Hi. Well, you can reach me in all the usual places. Discord, Instagram, Twitter, the rest of the internet, probably. You can find me anywhere. Okay. I'm doing great. If you want to find out what that looks like and see how cool I am, because so cool, obviously, then you can totally come and say hi.
Nice. Wonderful.
Cool and humble.
Cool and humble.
Listen. I've been trying this thing, right? It's really easy to make self-deprecating jokes, but your brain, turns out it listens to you. So if you're joking about really awful things about yourself all the time, you're going to start internalizing them, right? I learned this a long time ago, didn't take it too seriously. But what I've started doing instead is now I just brag too much. Now I just joke too hard in the opposite direction, but it feels great.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, and you can do it sarcastically too, and it's still funny.
Oh, it's all jokes, but it feels nice.
Yeah, it feels great. Yeah. I'm also awesome, so tune into all my stuff over on robotsradio.net.
Can we redo everyone's outro and we'll just all start saying that we're awesome?
Like, we're all just so... This is the most awesome...
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. We are the most awesome people on the internet, and you should come hang out with us as much as you possibly can, because we're awesome, and we're going to make you feel awesome too, because guess what?
Yeah.
You're awesome. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. You can find all my stuff at robotsradio.net, including all of everybody else's stuff on the network, and so many other things. I would love for you to check out my fun little project about the weird and wacky world of SCPs and Foundation stuff, called SCP Foundation Files, where sort of messed up AI reads you all of the SCP stuff in order and tries to be your friend. It's really good. I'm really proud of it. You should go look it up right now.
So when are you going to talk about the jive turkeys, though?
Jive turkeys? I'll have to work that in. I'm going to work that in eventually. Go listen to it. I've been doing videos. I've started a new YouTube channel where I've been actually working in videos as if they were designed by the AI itself also. So like some of them start out with like pictures of like attractive people with a note that says, I've learned that by including pictures of attractive people, it will increase your humans' attention to my videos. Kevin's the name of the AI. and then it gets some more actual video components that make sense with the content, but he'll like interject stuff during the videos as if he's trying to like convince you to watch his video. I think it's funny, and hopefully other people think it's funny too. So go look that stuff up. It's awesome. But that's what I got going on. So go check it out. I think you guys will like it. And I'm awesome. And so is everybody else. Thanks for being here, friends.
Thank you.
That's it. We'll be back next week with a regular episode. I think Lainey and I are going back to like Thursdays or Fridays during the day sometime. We'll have more updates about the schedule whenever we figure that out, because life keeps changing, but we'll roll with it. So we'll see you then. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks patrons. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
To plug into everything else we're doing, check out robotsradio.net. Also, look up the Robots Radio YouTube for videos about Fallout and other things. And check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/robotsradio.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.